Hey guys, good morning, everybody. Today is Friday, September 20th. It is 6:26 right now. Market's going to open in about 4 minutes. So I'm going to go ahead and set up this room real quick, and we'll get started shortly with our analysis for today. Just got a few things here to update, and we should be good to go. All right, looks good. Let me send out over here. Link is sent out. All right, looks like we are good to go. So I'm gonna mark up liquidity real quick, just to closer levels of liquidity. All right, we got liquidity marked up here. So, all right, guys, good morning, everybody. Today is Friday, September 20th. It is 6:28 right now. Market's going to open up in a few moments. For the breakout today, the breakout is going to be a buy-in trend. If you guys are looking to take that, looking over here at liquidity, closest level of liquidity above is at 42,473, and the closest level of liquidity below is pretty far down at 42,286. So those are the two closest levels of liquidity to current price. Price is kind of all over the place today. There's not really much direction with regard to where price tends to look like it's moving to. But the breakout today is going to be for a buy, guys. We got market opening up in about 40 seconds. Let's see. So Asia is ranging right here. Manipulation here during London. I'm expecting a correction back to the upside. There's no news this morning, so no real catalyst to kind of push price around. We got market opening up in about 10 seconds, guys. So we got market opening up in about 10 seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Market is now open. So let me just move this down here real quick. Let's see, where is it? All right, so wait, 245, 445, so up a little bit, and 245. All right, perfect. So we got that set up right there. Come back and take a look at this a little later. Everything's set up. All right, so I'll come back and take a look at this a little later. Let's take a look at the clean chart now. So, all right, guys, market is now fully open. Good morning, guys. Today's Friday, September 20th. The breakout is for a buy today. Trade is currently running right there. So I'll come back and take a look at that a little later. It's gonna probably bounce around a bit. Don't know if this will be one of those days where it ends up kind of just going sideways for a while. So I'm gonna start looking for some entries over here at 640. Let's see, there's not really much. Yeah, there's not any news today at all, really. Surprising for a Friday. Usually there's like at least one big news event on Friday, but there's nothing here today. So I'll come back and take a look at that. Looking over here at our clean chart, we don't really have structure to mark up yet, so I'll come back and take a look at that a little later. Yeah, there's not really much structure here. Let's come back and take a look at that once the market here is kind of stabilized a little bit. Let's go to the SR charts. So we've got a bunch of zones kind of over here. The zones are a little scattered throughout the place. See a little more. So these zones are going to be pretty much relevant until price comes back up. I'll have to go in the higher time frames to see the lower zones over there, of course. But as you guys can see, price is kind of all over the place right now. It's just spiking back and forth. It's coming down sharply, coming right back up. The breakout is still running right here. So again, I'll just come back and take a look at that a little later. There's no need to like focus on this chart here because it's just going to keep bouncing back and forth for a while. So I'll come back and take a look at that a little later. Like I said, for the SR chart, I'm going to have to go in the higher time frames to identify lower structure. Let's go. All right, so the closest structure below is like right here. I'm just looking for where price is likely to bounce off if it does drop any lower. And that's about it. So you can see over here, price just got manipulated to the downside. It's now correcting back up, back to the breakout over here. It's back in profit. It looks like it's going to be one of those days, guys. I might have to move my stop loss and profit again once price pushes back up, because it's just looking like one of those days where it's not going to be very smooth. This whole week's kind of been like this, you know, mostly based off the FOMC news from this week, the interest rate. I think a lot of people just don't know what to do with the interest rate news. Typically, you expect price to be super bullish. I think because everybody thinks price is supposed to be super bullish, nobody really knows what to do. So you can see how the market here isn't really, it doesn't know what to do with where it's currently at. So let me just mark up the zones here now. Now that we have some sort of a range that's set up, I can mark up structure. All right, so here's the current structure on the clean chart. You guys can see price is pretty much ranging between this upper level, which is the 42,400 level, and the lower level over here below at 42,300. So price is right down the middle right now at 350, and it's kind of just going back and forth. It's about a 100-point range with the 50-point mark right here down the middle. In order for me to start looking for some market flow V2s, I need to wait for the for 640 to hit, basically waiting for the market here to kind of stabilize a little bit before I start looking for any entries. So it looks like there would have been a market flow V2 that would have came up. See, market open right here at 630. I mean, market opening price. So market opened up right here at 630. Price flowing below, the entry would have happened up here. So there would have been a market flow entry right down here. A little far down, but it would have happened right here. There's just one entry that came up, this one right here. So price came down, retraced back up. The pivots were sitting right here. So it'd be the closest, full whole number nearest to the pivots, which would be right here at the 360 mark. That's where it would have gotten filled, would have retraced up a little bit, came back down to full TP, and then now it came right back down the middle. We now have a buy signal here. So with the buy signal present, there's not going to be any sells here for us to take for any market flow V2s. We need to get another sell signal in order for us to get that. I don't really care where price is going. I mean, ideally, of course, I'd like price to go up, but for the market flow V2s, I don't really care. Price can go up, price can go down. Doesn't really affect my analysis. Obviously, I'd like price to go up because of the breakout, but we'll see where this takes us. So again, price is just going back and forth. There's nothing going on here. It's a lot of back and forth movement. Let's see. Morning, Steven. Morning, Adam. Morning, David. Stanley said my Ninja chart isn't working. Is anybody else same thing? What's going on with it, Stanley? I try to help you troubleshoot. If you can tell me like what's going on with it specifically. Like, is the data not on your chart? Is it slow? Is it laggy? I don't know. If you can tell me what's going on with it, I can probably help you troubleshoot. I think I've run into like, let's see, Stanley said it's stuck at 1420 from yesterday. That's weird. I would log out and log back in. Make sure your connections aren't logged in right now. So like go to your connections, have it where it doesn't auto sign into it. And then, so like when you log in, it's like fresh. So if you do that, you log into your Ninja, it'll be like fresh, nothing's logged in. And then you go to your connections, you click on Apex or whatever you labeled it as, and then it should log in and then your data should just like come back on. It sounds like you might be on like a demo account. Like it's not logged into your Apex. Because the only reason the data would be frozen like that is if the main account that you're linked onto is not it's not active. It's happened to me before, so I kind of have an idea of what you're talking about. One time or before, I used to have it automatically log in and it would just get corrupted. Like it would log into the demo instead of the actual account. Because Apex does give you a demo account as well, I believe. Yeah, logging in, logging out usually fixes it. And then if you disconnect and reconnect the connections, it usually links on to the one that has an active connection. You might be on the Ninja SIM account or the Apex SIM or demo account. That's usually what happens when I see it there. Hey, Gary, morning. Hey, what's up, Paul? Paul said, hey, Sean, it's been a while. I'm going into management training at my job on October 2nd. Nice. Congrats, Paul. And also going back to college to study financing and accounting. Sweet. No, it's good. It's good to see you back here, Paul. You know, it's good to see old faces that I haven't seen in a while. You know, just because you guys stopped trading doesn't mean you guys can't hop onto these live sessions and just catch up and hang out. But yeah, no, it's good, Paul. I mean, as long as what you're doing is making you happy, I think that's really what it is. So like I always tell people this, trading can be for everyone, but it's not for everyone, right? If trading doesn't make you happy and it stresses you out all the time, then probably shouldn't be trading. But if you're like one of the people who can actually get it, you know, it does open up a lot of opportunity. But yeah, no, definitely. Yeah, Paul said I've set up some investment accounts as well to stay partially in the trading field, and it's working out very well. Yeah, I think that's a key, Paul. When you don't have to worry about the money from trading, you stress less about it, right? Like for me, when I first started trading, it was always tough because I was worried about, you know, losing money. But now that I've made a pretty good amount of money over the years, I could trade without any worry. So I think it's the same situation with you. You have a stable job, you have a plan ahead of you, so you can still trade, but you're not worried about it anymore because the money that you're losing isn't like, it's not going to make or break your life, right? I feel like that's what happens with a lot of people. They try to go all in with trading and have no backup, and then they just stress out because they don't want to lose any trades. Yeah, exactly. Sam said true. Trading with fear is crazy. It really is. The blow counts like daily. I've seen it. I've done it before. I've been one of those people. So, all right, guys, it's 6:40 right now. I'm ready to take some trades. Looking over here, we currently have a buy signal. So in order for me to take some entries here, I need price to push up, retrace back, and push up further. So that's going to be the situation for me to here to take some buys. Ideally, this is the best case scenario because looking over here at the breakout, it's just moving kind of slow. So I think what I'm going to do here, guys, is I'm going to move my stop loss and profit right here to 42,360. All right, stop losses and profit right here, guys. So I don't have my stop loss is now in profit at 42,360 right here because the price is just kind of going back and forth. I think price will push up, but to be on the safe side, I moved my stop loss and profit right there to 42,360. If you guys want to move it up, feel free. I'm the type of guy that likes to move my stop loss and profit to like whole numbers. I'm just a whole numbers type of guy. You don't have to move it, but if you want to, feel free. So now I'm trading risk-free for the breakout. I'm hoping it pushes up because if it pushes up right here, I can start looking for some market flow V2s around this area. So this is where it's going to be a bit troubling because price is currently at the sessions. It's going to have trouble getting past this area and possibly this area up here. But if it does get past that area, looks like things may start to look up for this bullish push that we're hoping for. So push up, retrace, push up, retrace, push up. So I'll be looking for some market flow V2s around this area. But I need price to push past the pivots. The pivots don't have to cross over completely, but I need it to actually push up. Like it needs to be up here. And I'll probably look for some entries around this middle area right here for some market flow V2s. So breakout is looking good so far. Again, it's just having trouble getting past the sessions right there, that purple line. Sessions always tends to be like that. And gives it problems. All right, so let's see if this here pushes up any further. See if it bounces right back up. Man, the market here is kind of slow. So it's actually at the resistance too. So you guys can see the range over here that I drew. I drew this pretty much earlier in the earlier part of the session. Okay, so I got stopped out in profit for the breakout. The breakout's still running, guys, but it like barely triggered it. I probably should move it a little bit lower, but it's all good. Made a partial profit on this again, just like yesterday, made about 300. So, I mean, profit's profit. Again, like I said, for these breakouts, these are supposed to hit right away. Like they're not supposed to be lasting for, 20, 30 minutes. You're supposed to be hitting right away. So because this here hasn't hit right away, I moved my stop loss in profit and I got out for about 300 in profit. So you might have some sells over here for some market flow V2s, which is fine. Like I said, for the market flow V2s, I don't discriminate on whatever direction price goes. If price wants to go up, go down, I don't care. I'm just going to be following market flow. That's the whole point of the strategy. I'm following the flow of market. If market's flowing down, I'll look for some sells. If market's flowing up, I'll look for some buys. If market's flowing sideways, I'm not doing anything. I'm just sitting here and waiting for market to flow in a direction where I can take some entries. So I'm out in profit for the breakout. And we'll continue to watch here to see if any entries come up. But in order for me to take some sells, I need to get that sell signal. Sell signal needs to come up. That's going to identify where the momentum is going. Right now, we still have a buy signal, so momentum is technically bullish right now at the moment. But once we get that sell signal that closes right here, I'm going to look for price to move in that direction with market flow, look for the retracement, and come right back up. Or come right back down, just depending on where momentum is pushing. Yeah, exactly, Jason. Jason said that's real, Sean. This is not a breakout. This is a slow out. Yeah, it really is. There's no breakout here. You guys can see market opened up right here at 630. There's been like no direction. Price is kind of pushed up a little bit and pushed down a little bit. I mean, I guess if we really wanted to, we could adjust our breakout to like 50 points, but that defeats the purpose of the breakout, right? 50 points isn't really much of a breakout. You're looking for a 100 point, 200 point, 300 point move. That's a breakout. So it's all good. So I'm not in the breakout right now, guys. The breakout is still running, so we'll come back and take a look at that a little later. But for the most part, I'm out of that position. Stop loss was moved in profit. Locked in about 300 on that trade. Not a lot, but you know, it's profit. And today is Friday, so I'd rather not take that unnecessary risk. All right, so I'll leave the levels up here, or actually I'll take it off. Once the buy signal closes, I'll turn on the level so I can see where my entry is going to be for the market flow V2s. Again, I'm just looking for market here to flow, right? That's the whole point of the strategy. I'm looking for market flow. I'm not looking to get in at random times. I'm looking for market to flow. Once market's flowing to the downside, okay, I'm gonna look for some sells. Once market flows to the upside, okay, I'm gonna look for some buys. Right now, there's not really much of a market flow. It's more of a market range, right? Price is going back and forth between this area. This is a market range. We don't want to trade in a market range. We want to trade in a market flow. Unless you're trading off the support resistance, of course. So like right here, I've drawn the resistance up here, drawing the support down here. If you want to trade the balances, you can do that as well. So say, for example, price comes down to this area, you can always take the buy off the lower point right there. If you want to do that, you don't have to do that. Like I said in the past, I'll probably come up with some sort of strategy that's similar to market flow. It'll probably be like market flow V3, where you can trade in a ranging market. A little sneak peek to what that would be is basically trading off the support and the resistance, right? So like when price came up here, you could have taken that for a sell, just put a pending sell order right there, roll that back down. Same with the bottom over here. Price pushes down here, take that for a buy, write it back up. But for these market flow V2s, you just got to be patient. It doesn't matter if it's going to be valid or invalid. This signal could be an invalid signal. We can still look for some sells. But you guys can see here, there's nothing going on. Price is really just ranging back and forth. So with that said, we will continue to wait here and watch for something here to come up. If nothing comes up by 7 o'clock, like I said, my cutoff is 7 o'clock, guys. So I'm not really going to be pushing it. If it hits 7 and there's nothing there, then I'm not going to force any trades. I'm happy with my profits for this week. We did pretty good this week. Overall, we did pretty good, made some smart decisions. The interest rate news came out this week, so it's been kind of all over the place. There hasn't really been any unity with regard to the direction of price, as you guys know. And this is just usual. This usual market for big news like that. We're going to start to see the market react to it probably over the next couple of weeks, if not over the next couple of months, because with the interest rate cut, you're going to start to see a lot of people. So businesses are going to start to spend more. Real estate's going to start to sell more. The auto manufacturers are probably going to sell more too. I mean, it just depends because like with the interest rates lower, it's going to be cheaper money. It's not that much lower though. So like we were at, I think we were pretty high. I don't know what the interest rate was. Let me go real quick. So the interest rate was at, okay, it was at 5.5. It's now down to 5. So it's not a huge jump. It's not like COVID numbers, right? COVID interest rates were like 3% or less than 3%. We're barely at 5. So went from 5.5 to 5. And we still got to fight the fact that we're going into a recession. So just because the interest rate news dropped doesn't mean that we're out of this possibility of going into a recession. So yeah, it's not like this was a game changer for the world. It was just it was something to push price in a direction. So like if we, and I'll look at it a little later, but if you go on the higher time frames, like say the daily, price here is super, super bullish, right? So it's going to have to retrace back before it becomes bullish again. And if you guys remember, so every year I tell you guys how the market moves at the end of the year, right? It's historical. If you guys look at the data, we'll look at it after I'm done looking for entries here. I'm still looking for an entry here at 650, so I still have some time. But once I am done looking for an entry, I'll show you guys the historical data of what happens every year around the holidays. It just always happens. We're in September right now, so it's probably gonna be bullish from now up until October, November. And then from there, it's probably gonna swing right back in the direction to the upside. Man, the sell signal is not closing. The volatility here is just really low. So I'm hoping the sell signal closes pretty soon. It's 6:50 right now, so it's getting closer and closer to 7 o'clock, which is my cutoff for entries. So I need the sell signal here to close. Once the sell signal closes, I'm going to look for a small retracement and I'm going to catch the push back to the downside. But again, I need that sell signal to close. If the sell signal doesn't close, we don't have momentum in that direction. So that's just, it's necessary. Nice. Yeah. So Stanley said he's going to trade based off percentage instead of dollar amount once he passes the eval. Yeah, that's what I do too, Stanley. Like right now, I'm on a 300K account. I'm only risking 500 per trade. So the way that I've done it is because, so like if you do the math here, so I can lose 7,500 before I blow my account, right? So what I did was, since I'm only risking about, actually I'm risking like 725. So divided by 725, I basically have to lose over 10 times back to back. So I have to have 10 back to back losing trades. Like I have to lose with no wins in between 10 back to back losses in order for me to blow my account. So like that's like what you said, you're trading off percentages because I made it pretty much impossible for me to blow my account. Um, that's the key. Once you're funded and you have a PA account and stuff like that, you don't have to take unnecessary risk. I mean, it's nice to make huge profit and it feels good, but you can have 20 accounts, right? Like me, I have 20 funded PA account. So like when I make 500 bucks per trade or 250, realistically, I'm making 250 per trade times 20. I'm really making 5,000 instead of 250. So, you just got to crunch the numbers. And that's the thing that I like about Apex. They give you so many accounts. So you don't need to take crazy risks every single trade. Like right now, you're probably trying to make 1,000, 2,000, 3,000 per trade, right? Yeah, that's nice if you have 20 accounts. Like for example, you make 2,000 per trade times 20, you make like 40K in a day, but then you could blow your account. So it's all about consistency. And the thing with Apex is that the rules are so strict that it's better to be consistent and go for smaller profits and smaller losses rather than going for those big wins. Because they want you to take those big wins and violate the rules. That's pretty much how every funding company works, right? They want you to fail. So you just got to outsmart them and do what they're not expecting and just be consistent. Let's see. Yeah, Stanley said, yeah, I'm in the same boat right now. I have a business and hired my first employee, so I have free time. Yeah, no, that's key. That's key with starting a business too. Once you're able to delegate the work, you can kind of focus on the things that you actually want to do, right? It's the same with this here too, like with K2 and Kodi Kai. Like before I used to teach a lot, but then I started to just focus on training because what I really wanted to do was trade. I didn't really want to teach. And now that I started making a lot more money from trading and I got like a little nest egg here where I don't have to really work or do anything. Like if I didn't trade today, it'd be fine because I would have a bunch of money saved up from the previous years of trading. And it makes a difference because once you have that, you're not really focused on like making those big profits every day. I'm cool with making a couple $100 and then just having those multiply per account. So looking at this here, guys, we currently have the sell signal that's pending right now. So I'm hoping this here closes. It's 6:54 right now. So it's getting closer and closer to 7 o'clock. Um, I'm not surprised here that it's not really closing though, because the volatility here is so low. So, all right, going back here to the clean chart, you guys can see that there's not really much going on here. Price is just, I mean, for the most part, flat. So it's having trouble. And the breakout's still running, guys. So just keep that in mind. Breakout is still running, but we don't have the sell signal here. So if I don't get any market flows right now, it's completely fine. I'm probably just going to wrap it up for the week for my accounts. I'll keep looking for entries here, but I'm not going to look for any trades for myself because my trading plan is only till 7. Yeah, there's really nothing going on here. You guys see this? It's just going back and forth between this area. This is pretty weird for a Friday, right? Friday, you expect some volatility to be in the market, something to be happening. but market opened right here at 6:30 and then nothing happened. Price pretty much just went back and forth the whole time. All right, so we have an opportunity here for entry, guys. Market flow. Not right here though, not at this very, so we got the sell signal. The entry would technically be like way up here because this is too low right here where it's currently at. I mean, if you want to take this for market flow, feel free. The actual entry would be up here. Let's see if I get it right here. So I got it a little later right here for a discount.
Order filled.
The entry would have happened right here though at the 340 mark. So I'm already in the position right there and it's kind of just running through. I'll see here if it pulls back down. I didn't have time to set up the order because of the, I mean, obviously the low volatility here. So we'll see how this here plays through. Again, I got in at a discount right here a bit higher because of where price was sitting. I didn't get a chance to put the pending order. I just put it in right there instead of putting it down here at the 40. So price is pushing down.
Target filled. Order filled.
So I'm out right there, full TP, guys. So there goes the market flow V2 that I was looking for. I'll see if I can take one more, but it's getting close to 7 o'clock. It's just cutting it really too close. So my entry happened right here, guys, at this top area, because like I said, I got in for a discount. So I got in right there. You guys can see the arrows right here. That red arrow is a sell entry. And then the 3 green ones right here are where I closed out for profit. So it filled it right there, went straight down, hit my TP, and I got out. That was just one market flow for the day. Yeah, I'm not expecting much else to happen over here because of the low volatility. So in order for me to have another entry, I need price to come down lower, like down here, bounce off it again, and come back from there. I need market flow to move in this direction. And we also need a sell signal. So another thing here is that we need a sell signal in order for us to take another sell. So I don't think there's going to be any more entries for myself. I'll look for some more entries for you guys. So if you guys want to keep trading, I'll keep looking for some more opportunities here, but I'm pretty much done with my own accounts. I'll show you guys my profits, locked in pretty good for the day. So I locked in about 5,000 for today. So let's see, with that said, let me go and post up my profits. So the breakout is still running. I can't really post the breakout yet because it's still running. I did get out for a partial on it, so I guess I can post it up for a partial. So let me go over here again, and I'll just post that up real quick. Man, today was like, I was really hoping for more profit or something else to play through, but it didn't exactly. I'll just take a screenshot here so you guys can see the number. I was hoping there'd be some volatility today for it being Friday. I was like, okay, people are going to act based off the interest rate news, but I mean, nothing really happened. It kind of just stayed flat. So there's no sell signal here. There's no other entries available for the market flow V2s yet. All right, so I'm just going to post the same thing I did yesterday. I made partial profit on that. So we got that right there. Take a screenshot of my partial profit. So locked in about 300, same thing as yesterday. It's just the market is not moving directional, and that's what we need. We need a directional move. So I locked in 291, basically 300 like yesterday. There's my profits for the breakout right there. Took it for a partial. And then for my market flow V2s, or V2, this entry happened right here at 656. really late. If you guys held it, I mean, it still would have hit regardless of the fact because it did come back down. So if you were holding on, you got in at the 340 mark. So whether you got in where I got in, because I got in right here, so I got in for a discount. You could have got in from right there. Or if you got in exactly where you're supposed to at the 340 mark, either way, price would have pulled up a little bit, and then would have came right back down and hit your TP right after. So it doesn't matter where you guys filled it, where you guys got your order in from. Either way, it would have gotten filled. There's another MPS V2, or sorry, not MPS, MF V2 coming up right here. If anybody is looking to take it, it's going to be at this level right here. All right, so it filled it. It looks like it's about to come down and hit TP, if not already. I think it might have hit already at the 330 mark. So it's pulling back down. So the reason why we have this right here is because we have a sell signal. The pivot's right here. This is the closest hold number above the pivot. And this here would have been the entry for a market flow V2 if anybody was looking to take it. It's after 7 o'clock, so I'm done taking trades for the day. Full TP right there. So if you guys took that, another full TP for a market flow V2. Again, like I said, my cutoff is 7 o'clock, but it's only for right now, guys. So don't worry. If the market starts to move directional after 7 o'clock and we have market starts to keep flowing after 7, then I'll keep looking for entries after 7. But from the summer conditions, this is what happens at 7 o'clock. Price just goes sideways. So in order for me to not get caught in these sideways moves, I just don't trade after 7 right now. So another market flow V2 right there for a full TP if you guys caught that. Anyways, let me take a screenshot of all of my accounts for the day so far. All right. Today was a pretty decent day. Pretty decent week overall. All right, so here are my profits. I just took one trade. Like I said, every trade I take is about 250. So I've got 21 accounts here. This is 20 Apex PA accounts. And then on top of that, I have my personal account. So 250 times 21. I made 5,250 for the day. These are my profits right there for my Apex and my personal account. And then for my breakout entry over here, another plus 291. So in profit for the day, I made a total profit of 5,541. This is pretty much 30 minutes of trading. I just waited for this here to come up. Once it came up, played out perfect, filled the order, no problems, straight to TP. There's another one right here. So if I took 2 of these, I would have doubled up my profit. So instead of making 5,000, I would have made 10,000, but it's all good. I'd rather not take that risk because I got to follow my trading plan. So I'm gonna step away for 1 second, guys. I'm just gonna go grab some water real quick and I'll be right back. All right, guys, I'm back. So let's see, what are we looking at? So we still have some market flow V2s coming up, or they came up, it looks like. We had a sell signal come up right here, the entry that I showed you guys earlier, hit TP right there. Price came back up right here, another entry right there, full TP. Another entry right here, full TP. So there's a bunch of market flow V2s that just came up right here, if you guys saw. There's one, two, three, maybe four entries. Yeah, four on this current candle. And it's still pushing through. So it's looking good. The thing that I like about this here is that we're starting to have more volatility after 7 o'clock, which is pretty much what we've been waiting for all summer. If you guys traded with me during the summer conditions, you guys knew that market was kind of slow during, I mean, like once it hit 7 o'clock, market volatility just pretty much died down. So here it's looking good because you guys can see, let me just take the levels off. So it's not really moving super directional, but it's moving directional enough for us to catch these market flows. So it's moving a little directional to the downside. It's not a lot, but just enough. So if you go over here to the clean chart again, the range is still happening. So we had the big range that was happening right here. And then now we have a small range that's happening down here. So nonetheless, price is still ranging, but there's not really much else here to work with. So let's see, question from Stanley. Stanley is asking, you don't take the trades directly on TradingView. Would it be faster? That way you don't have to turn your head to look at Ninja. So the problem with trading on well, so here's the thing, like when you're trading on Ninja, you're trading directly, right? So your trades get executed on NinjaTrader. This is the main thing that I would be worried about with TradingView, because the thing is when you're trading with TradingView, it becomes you're trading with the middleman basically. So like for example, so when you trade with Ninja, the order goes directly to so we'll just say like order filled, right? Order filled in the market. So like when you hit sell on Ninja, it goes straight through. When you trade through TradingView, you still got to go through Ninja, right? And these trades are really, really fast. Like they happen within seconds. So you see where it becomes an issue. There could be a split second, like say, for example, the order fills and then you're a second late because it still has to set it to Ninja. Like you hit sell here, then it goes to Ninja, and then it goes to the market. So that's the main reason why I don't do it. If you're trading, like if you're not scalping, like you're doing like a regular day trade or you're swing trading or taking something that doesn't that you don't need like the exact price, then okay, it's fine. But for us here, we're trying to get in like right away. Like we're looking for that to trigger it, fill, in and out within seconds. So that's why for me, I trade directly on Ninja. I do log into my account on here. So you do see the lines here. See the line right here? So my account is logged in and you still see the orders get filled on my TradingView, even though I'm not trading on TradingView. So that's the main reason why, Stanley. I just don't want to risk it because I'm trading like 20 accounts, right? Like one little mistake could cost me a lot of profit or cost me a big loss. So and I also trade on my personal account. So that's a thing too. I thought about it. So I thought about logging in, but you have to pay an extra fee to log into your personal account on TradingView, which is dumb. It's like an extra 40 bucks a month or something. It doesn't make sense. So I just don't do it. Let's see, Steven's asking, when you go into a recession, does that cause gold to go up? It's supposed to, Steven. So like, yeah, if the market's not doing well, gold is supposed to go up, typically. But it doesn't always happen. But yeah, if the fundamentals are how they're supposed to move, that's how it's supposed to go. But you got to understand, so like during COVID, it's different when we're in an actual recession or if we're in a panic market. Like during COVID, gold didn't move like how it was supposed to. Like gold is supposed to go up like super crazy, and the Japanese yen was supposed to go up because that's a safe haven currency, but it didn't exactly move that way. So yes, if you're talking about the fundamental aspect of things, gold is supposed to go up, but realistically, it doesn't always go up like that. It might go up long term, but it's not going to be like every day it's going to be super bullish. Because if it was that easy, then everybody would trade gold, right? But most people who trade gold don't really do well because it doesn't really work that way. Or at least doesn't work the way that we would expect it to. Gold doesn't go opposite of US30, but it typically goes opposite of market. So yeah, the thing with US30 that you have to keep in mind is that US30 isn't the dollar. Gold moves opposite of the dollar because the dollar is currency, Steven. US30 is just the top 30 stocks. Like the dollar could be weak, but the top 30 stocks could still be bullish. So US30 doesn't signify how strong the US dollar is. Gold goes opposite of the dollar. Because if the dollar is weak, then gold goes up. If the dollar is strong, gold goes down because people don't want gold, right? If you can make more money with the dollar, then you're going to keep the dollar. If you can make more money with gold, you're going to keep gold. So the dollar and gold are interchangeable, not US30. US30 is not equivalent to the dollar. A lot of people try to correlate those two, but they're not the same thing. Like you got to use your common sense, right? The top 30 stocks are the top 30 companies. So just because the dollar is weak doesn't mean that the third companies are going to be weak too. So that's why they're not interchangeable. You got to base it off the dollar index. That's why they call gold the gold standard. Because it's either fiat currency is the gold standard, or Bitcoin is the gold standard, or gold's the gold standard, right? So that's how everybody's trying to make Bitcoin the gold standard, but I don't think Bitcoin will ever be the gold standard. It's just not going to be the case. Maybe like in like 100 years, Bitcoin can maybe become the gold standard, but maybe not even 100 years, maybe like in like 500 years, because people still want that fiat, right? They want the dollar, they want the gold, they want something that's like real that they can touch. Looks like another entry came up right here. Thanks, Daniel, for the heads up. I just realized there was liquidity sitting right here. So there's another market flow V2 that just came up right here. There's a couple here actually that came up. So it looks like, so I think the last one we looked at was this one right here, right? There's another one that came up right here that was right next to it. So there's actually a ton of market flow V2s that are hitting right now. This one right here hit, and then again, I think this one right here hit, and then probably again right here. There's another one that's currently running, which should be like right here. I'm not in these positions, but I'll keep looking for some more entries here if I do see anything come up. Yeah, exactly. Steven said bad economy, wars, pandemic, this happens a lot, so gold goes up. In my personal account, I'm taking gold trades. Yeah, no, that makes sense 100%, Steven. That's usually why a lot of people they classify gold as a gold standard or as a standard to follow, because no matter what's going on in the world, like, you know, if we go back to the Stone Ages or whatever, and we go back to bartering and you have to like, nobody takes cash anymore, people will still take gold, right? Gold is always going to be worth something. So, because people still like jewelry and stuff like that, and it's always worth more than, you know, others would expect. So, CJ said a high level momentum just hit. Yeah, I just saw that right now. So there's a lower low that came up right here, guys. Buy signal broken, close past pivots 1 and 2. Straight to TP right there. Thanks, CJ, for the heads up. So I think this is what I'm going to do, guys. So over the next couple of weeks, I'm going to list pretty much all the strategies that we've used in the past, because, you know, there's a reason why we use those strategies in the past, right? So I'm going to go down the spreadsheet here. I'm going to go down pretty much all of the strategies. I'm going to list all of them, like from last year and this year. So like, you know, the momentum scalp failure, momentum scalp variation, high level momentum scalp, all that stuff. I'm gonna look up all these entries. I'm gonna list them on a list of strategies. And then what I'm gonna do is, I think at the end of each month or at the beginning of each month, I'm gonna go through and just back test the month prior. I'm gonna see what's been working that prior month, and I'm gonna try to like rank all the strategies so that we know which ones to follow. I just thought about it yesterday. I was like, why didn't I ever do that before? Because the thing is, like, we keep switching. Well, we don't keep switching strategies, but we interchange strategies. Sometimes we're using market flows, sometimes we're using high-low scalps, sometimes triple confluences, sometimes pivot scalps, stuff like that. And the thing is, we have a whole list of strategies that we know work. It just depends on the market conditions. So what I'm going to do every month is I'm going to sit down, I'm going to back test like a month back, and I'm going to go through all the strategies. I'm going to see which entries come up, and then whichever ones are working well, I'm going to use those for the next month. So like whichever breakout strategy is working really good, I'm going to use that for the following month. And then whatever directional strategy or sideways strategy works very well, we're going to use that for the following month. Because the thing is, I have so much data here. It's like, why aren't we using this data to understand what works best, right? Because there's been some times where we would just apply one strategy for a long time. Like, for example, here during April, all we did was high-low momentum scalps. And we had a crazy win rate, right? We had a 90% win rate, 17 wins, only 2 losses for a profit of 1,100 points or pips or whatever it may be. Yeah, we were killing it. Like back then, I mean, you can kind of understand what strategies work well. Like liquidity pushes worked really well during June. Momentum pullback scalps happened a lot during July. Like there's a lot of entries here that we took, and we had a pretty good year for 2023. We have a lot of good strategies to use. So just want to give you guys a heads up of like what I'm going to do. Moving forward, because the thing is, like, we don't have to keep changing strategies. Well, we have to adjust strategy. We have to adapt with the market. That's what really needs to be the case. It's really just adapting with the market, because we have a lot of strategies here that work very well, and we just got to pick out which ones work well during which markets. Because there's some markets where it works very well, some markets where it doesn't. It just depends on what's happening during that specific market. And I'll try to group them into like specific types of entries. So looking at this over here, let me see if there's anything else. Let me just look back to 630. Markup 630 right here. Just going to look to see if any entries came up. So like what I've started to notice, and Maria mentioned this yesterday, and I also mentioned it yesterday, one of the entries that's been hitting a lot lately is the pivot scalp. That's one of the very original strategies that we used to apply. So looking at this here, we had a sell signal, or we had price coming down. Retracement, sell signal right here at 655. The entry would happen right here for a sell. Stop loss would have been right here at 44. And this would have been a full TP. That's a pivot scalp entry right there. One thing that I've noticed is that the first pivot scalp entry that happens every single day on market open, it almost always hits. You would just you'd identify the pivot scalp, put your stop loss at above the pivots over here. So maybe this would be a little bit higher, maybe 45. Or if you want to go even higher, you can go to 50. I think the bigger the CP stop loss, the better, because you have room to breathe. And right there, if you would have taken that entry, even though it's invalid, it still would have worked out perfect. Or if you waited for the next one, so there's another one right here that came up. Same situation. Price comes down, retrace, sell signal right there below the pivots. This here would be a little bit higher, so you'd probably just put this up to like maybe 65, or maybe less. 65 is a little far out. So I think I would cap it at like 60 or 50, something like that. And or I think even 60 is a little high. I think for these regular scalps, you probably want to go to 50, because you think about it, these scalp moves, you're not trying to hold on to them for too long. So I think 50-50 would be good at a max, because if you're wrong by 50 points, you're probably wrong the entire move. So yeah, if you were to do 50-50 right there. If this was a swing trade, it'd be different. You'd be holding on to it for a long time. But again, that's like one strategy that I've been noticing for the past, well, basically this entire month. If you look for the first pivot scalp that comes up, and if you guys don't remember the pivot scalp, basically you look for identification of a trend. So price trends to the downside. You look for a retracement buy signal. So price is coming down, trend is bearish, buy signal comes up right here, and you look for the correction back down. With the correction back down, you're looking for the sell signal. That's a catalyst for entry. And then once you get that, there would be this first one right here. Even though it's invalid, it still would have been working. And that'd be an entry right there. And if you want to take this as a breakout, like mid-session, you can take this as a breakout mid-session, or just a day trade or a scalp. It's just really up to preference. So yeah, that's what I'm going to start doing at the end of each month or the beginning of each month. As soon as the month ends, whatever weekend that falls on, I'm just going to go and back test everything. Back test everything, and there's no specific one that I'll be looking for. So like it could be pivot scalps, right? Pivot scalp, momentum scalp, high-low scalp, triple confluence, high-low momentum scalp, B1 variation. I can't even think of anything else that's here. BB3 continuation. Looks like there is a entry running right here, guys, for a market flow V2. I don't know if I would have taken it at that level though. Actually, it's kind of close. It looks like it would be. I'd probably take this one down here. So depending on which one you wanted to take. So if I go back to this candle over here real quick. Yeah, so if you're thinking back to this candle, I think the entry would happen right here at the 60 mark. You can see how the pivot's close to that point. And then when it came down, it would have filled it on that next candle. And it would have now been active. So there's a market flow V2 currently running right now. It's in profit, not at TP yet, but it's in profit. We should be running from this point. Like I said, once it hits 7 o'clock, the volatility here starts to die down a little bit. So I think this will probably hit, but because of the low volatility, this is why I don't trade after 7 o'clock. See how this thing just kind of moves sideways for a while? This entry is supposed to trigger and go up very quickly. And there you go, full TP on that market flow V2 if anybody was looking to take that. So price came down, filled it right here at the 60 mark, pushed back up, hit TP. Then on the next candle, you can probably look for it to come back down and then fill it again right there. So again, I was trying to list all the strategies here. There's a lot of strategies that we have taken over the years. MPS, market flow V2. So these are pretty much the main, and I'll just put this as like scalp entries, right? All right, so there's no entry right here, guys, on this one because the sell signal came up. Once the sell signal comes up, there's no more entries for buys. You got to wait for another buy signal to come up. Now that we have a sell signal, we can look for price to come back down and make its way around. But anyway, so these are like the scalp entry that I'll be looking for. I'll just back test for these to see what we'll take for the following month. And then again, for breakouts, we'll look at the BB3, PRB, market open, OG breakout. So I know this isn't like a full list of everything, but basically this is what I'll be doing at the end of every month. I'll just pretty much go into back test. I'll see what's hitting the most. I'll probably put like a number or a rank per strategy. And then if these entries are hitting pretty often, then that's probably what we'll use for the following month. I think that's going to be super useful. So we don't have to go and make changes, because what I can do is I can just pull up these entries and I can make small adjustments to them. Same with the market flow. So if you look at the market flow, if you look at the MPS and market flow V2, these are pretty much the same strategy. It's just the only difference is that the entry points are at different price points. So for the MPS, I think we did every 5 points. For the market flow, we did retracement and correction. And then for the market flow V2, we looked for retracement and bounce off whole number. This is the market flow V2 is basically a combination between MPS and market flow. It's basically the same strategy, just factors in both of the criteria. So I think this is gonna be super, super useful with us moving forward. so that we don't really have to change anything. We just have to like figure out, okay, what strategy is going to work best during these market conditions? Is the market super volatile? Is the market super slow? Is the market faking out? Is the market ranging, right? So I'll have to put together another list for the ranging strategies. So we got breakout entries, scalp entries, and then of course I'll look for some sideways strategies as well. One of the main sideways strategies that we used to apply back then was the snipe entry. If you guys remember the snipe entry, that was a favorite for everybody. It still works perfectly fine. So I know some people here still do the snipe entry. There's no zones down here, but if there were, I'll look for some opportunity here for entry. Actually, let's see. Let's go on the 5 real quick. No zones down here. 10-minute. No, there's not really any zones down here, so there's nothing to take. Unless you wanted to trade on the 10-minute. So like looking over here, I think that there are some snipe entries that came up. So there's a zone right here. So looking at this, there's actually a couple of snipe entries that came up right here. So like price came down, there's a sell signal, retraced up. This candle right here rejected directly off the zone and off the pivot. That'd be a snipe entry right there. For I forgot what the TP stop loss used to be for the snipe entry. I don't know if you guys did 50-50. Some people did 50-50, which was a 1-to-1. So this would have taken a while to hit, but eventually it would have hit TP. Right there. So you could have done a 50-50. Some people do the negative risk reward, 25-50. Either way, they both would have worked. So the snipe strategy still works very well, guys. If you guys are still looking to take it, there's actually another snipe strategy that's working right here. So this one rejected off the blue pivot and off that zone as well. We still have a sell signal. So there's currently a running order over here for a snipe entry. So yeah, that strategy was good. The only problem is that it was on the 10-minute time frame. So like sometimes we'd have to be on the chart for like forever for this entry to come up. So for you guys who've been trading with me for a long time, you guys remember these strategies. We used to apply these. Those were like the main strategies back then. But also back then I was also trading all day. So I was trading from like 5:30 up until like 12 noon. Like we'd be trading all day. Like we'd be watching TV together. We'd be watching CNBC, following the news, all that stuff. I'm just different now. I don't want to be on the charts all day like I used to. Like if you want to be on the charts all day, there's a lot of entries to take, but for the most part, that's why we moved down to the 1-minute time frame. I used to trade on the 5-minute. I used to trade on the 10-minute. I used to even trade on the 15-minute. And there's actually a lot of snipe entries that came up here, guys. I don't know if anybody's been taking these snipe entries, but there's a lot of entries that came up. There's another one that came up right here on the 15-minute time frame. This one right here would have been a huge move. So for this one, probably based off ATR 60-60. And then there's another one right here still running right now as well. Or snipe entry. And it lines up with the 10. All right. So guys, if there's any other questions that you guys have, go ahead and pop into the chat. We're getting closer and closer to like my usual cutoff time is like 7:40 because there's just nothing here to work with. Let's go back to the 1-minute. You guys can see here, price is literally going sideways. It's consolidating right here down the middle. Let's go back to our clean chart. So our clean chart is still where it's at. There's a little bit of a fake out down here. So we had a small fake out, but price is back into the same range that I drew from this morning. So I drew this range before market opened, and you can see nothing's really changed. It's the same thing. It's just going sideways. Nice work, Will. Yeah, I saw your profits right there. So let me scroll up real quick. CJ said exactly. I always incorporate a lot of the old strats because they're ingrained in my head at this point. So if I see it, I take it. Yeah. And that's what I mean with the entries earlier too that I discussed, CJ. Like a lot, all the old strategies still work well. So like whenever we have new people in the group, they ask like, what's the best strategy? There really is no best strategy because they're all good. It just depends on like what you're looking for specifically, right? Everybody's looking for something slightly different. Not everybody's looking for the same thing. So like for example, Will likes to like Will's one of the guys who takes the BB3s, right? I don't take the BB3s as often, but like for example, there's another BB3 running right here. So buy a signal, green candle after it. This is a breakout V3 continuation. Right? This will probably play through. So like I don't like to apply everything because well the thing is I do like to apply everything, but it's not possible for me to look at like 20 strategies at once, right? I have to focus on like one or two, or else I'll just miss everything. So we had this question during the mentoring session last week, or this week. Someone asked that. He was like, if you have all these strategies and they all work well, why aren't you applying all of them? Well, you try to apply all of them and tell me if it works because it's not going to work. Like there's only so much you can focus on when you're following the charts. So for me, I just focus on market flows because those are the quickest and easiest for me to follow. For some people, it's the breakout V3s. For some people, it's the market flows, regular market flows. Some people, it's V1 variations. There's just a lot of different entries here that you can take. They all work equally well. It's just, it depends on like what you're willing to wait for. Like for example, the pivot scalp was one of my favorite strategies, but the problem with the pivot scalp, and this is a problem with a lot of people, is that they don't have the attention span to wait for a signal to come up, right? So like, for example, if you're looking for this pivot scalp to come up earlier, let me just go back to like this candle over here. So you could set up for it, and the trend here is bearish. You have a retracement candle right here, but then the next thing you have to look for is that sell signal. So right here, you can see how the sell signal comes up, then it disappears. And then it comes up right here. So this could have been a problem because you could have maybe accidentally entered on this candle right here because you thought it was going to close. And then if this one over here didn't close, you would have missed it because you had to wait for it to close. So like that was always frustrating for a lot of people because they just weren't able to focus long enough to wait for the candle to close. So there's always pros and cons to certain entries. For me lately, what I've started to realize and what I like here is, and there's a market flow V2 that came up right here, guys. So buy a signal right here, price came down. When it came down right here, the entry was waiting at the 50 mark. So it looks like it would have filled right there on that next candle and then went straight to TP. So buy signal, retracement, entry is right here at the 50 mark, filled at the 50, shot back up, hit TP right there. There's the entry for that. So if you guys want to take some more market flows, there's still some more opportunities here. Like I said earlier, the market here is just kind of moving very slow. So there's not very much opportunity here to get in right away. So the reason why I like the market flows the most is because I like setting pending orders. I'd rather set pending orders than setting market orders. And then on top of that, rather than setting stop orders. So for the original market flow V1s, like the regular market flows, you'd have to set a pending order, which was a buy stop order, right? The reason why I don't like that is that you don't get in at exact price. Like you could have price coming down and then shooting back up. But even if you have your setup right there, there could be slippage. If price spikes up, you might get in a little higher. If price spikes down, you might get in a little lower. And it would always annoy me because sometimes it would be so close to filling and then it would either not fill or give me like really bad fill. So that's why I moved over to the V2s because instead of using stop orders, I'm now using limit orders. So for example, right here, if price comes back down, the entry is going to be right here at the 60 mark. So I would just have a limit order just waiting right here. And the thing that I liked about this the most was that if price came down, it would give me that exact price. So if I said to get in at 360, it's going to get me in at 360. It's not going to get me in at 362, 358. It's going to get me in at 360. So it's going to get me in exactly where I need to be in. And it's not going to mess with my entry. So back to the entry earlier that we talked about with Will. So the breakout V3, it just hit full TP right here, guys. So there's a buy signal, green candle that followed it right here, retraced back, shot right back up. Another win right there for the breakout V3. So looking at this right here, guys, this is why I created the breakout V3, because the breakout V3 is very similar to the pivot scalp. The only thing is that you're waiting for a confirmation. So like I said, if you can't wait for this here to close and you missed it, you can still get in later for a breakout V3 continuation. So you guys can see how I make little changes to the strategies that we already have. We had the pivot scalp entry. What I did was I just added another confluence here of a following green candle, and I turned it into a different strategy. But it's pretty much a pivot scalp with an extra confluence. So instead of just entering right away, you're waiting for that confirmation. Once you have that confirmation, then you enter on the next candle. So hopefully a lot of this stuff's making sense to you guys. There's another market flow right here that just came up, market flow V2. It triggered, pushing back up right here. It's about to hit full TP right there, guys. So buy signal, price came up right here, retraced. The entry would have happened at this whole number right here, the 360. And it looks like there's about like 3 or 4 MF2s that came up. So one right here that filled full TP. The other one that filled down here, full TP. And this one right here. So 3 back-to-back wins for market flow V2s. This is a good sign. Even though I'm not trading after 7 o'clock, I'm still seeing that these entries are hitting. So it's giving me confidence that, okay, like maybe I should start trading after 7 o'clock next week, right? So we see this happening this week. If this is a continuous theme where price continues to move directional after 7 o'clock, then okay, perfect. I'll start to take some entries over here after 7 o'clock. But right now I'm just looking at the market, forward testing it to see how the market's currently moving. If it's working in my favor, then okay, I'm gonna start using this for the next couple months. Right. So right here, again, there's another possible opportunity for a market flow. We have a buy signal. If price comes down and fills the order, it's going to be another order for market flow B2. The only problem here, again, guys, is that there's not really much direction, right? So even though it's hitting, you can see there's not much direction. Price is just going sideways. In order for this strategy to really flourish, you need the market to be moving like this. Like the market really has to be moving directional, because you're just one trade away from losing a trade, right? Again, right there, it filled. Let's see if it hits TP. Full TP again right there. 4 back-to-back wins for market flow V2 right here. The catalyst here is the buy signal. You have to make sure that you have a momentum signal, because if you were trading the other way, you could easily just be trading the wrong way. But the catalyst here, this is why we have an edge in the market, because I created this momentum signal to show you which direction to trade it. Another entry right here. Let's see if this hits full TP. Looks like it's going to. But again, yeah, like I was saying earlier, the catalyst is really this buy signal that I'm and another full TP right there. So 5 back-to-back full TPs right here for market flow. I'm really getting tempted to enter into a trade, but I'm not going to, because like I said, it's not part of my trading plan. My trading plan is to stick to between 640 and 7. But now that we're seeing these trades hit after 7 o'clock, then okay, maybe next week I might change it up a little bit. Maybe I'll trade from 6:30 up until, or 6:40 up until 7:30, or maybe 6:40 up until 8. It just kind of depends on like what the market's giving here. Yeah, CJ said we would have fun in the chat though. That was before I left my job, and I definitely made the day go by faster. Yeah. Now, same here. Like when we used to trade pre-COVID and post-COVID, I was still working my attorney job. So I was working in my office, and like I'd always be cracking up in the chat because there's always something going on in the chat. If you guys remembered, like back in 2020 when you used to trade forex, like there was always something going on in the chat. If you guys remembered Aaron, Coughing Aaron, he was always like the guy that would keep the chat going. Like I'd come back and I'd have like 1,000 messages on Telegram because everyone was just screwing around in the chat. And it made the day go by faster because we'd be able to trade all day between like 5:30 and basically lunchtime, noon, and the whole day would just go flying by. It's different now because I don't work anymore, so I kind of just want to be done with trading. So like when it hits like when it hits 8 o'clock or 7 o'clock, I'm already done trading and I'm done working for the day. And I can go to the gym and do whatever I need to do. Back then, I was at work, like in my office. So I wouldn't mind wasting time with you guys. I would just hang out with you guys for like 6 hours, basically from 6 to 12. We would just hang out in the chat and I'd be at my office job just like waiting for the day to end anyways, while trading with you guys on the side. So things were different back then. I was a different trader back then as well. Back then, I was so hungry to make profits, so I was always on the charts. Now I'm all about consistency. I don't really care about making like a ton of profits anymore. I just care about having consistent profits every day. Yeah, CJ said, yeah, I caught the last four Pokemon. Guys, so if you're still in the breakout's still technically running. Uh, it's crazy how long this breakout's been running for. This is definitely not a breakout. This is a slow out, like Jason said. So if you guys are still in the breakout, it's still running right now. I'm not in the position. I close out at like partial profit over here when I move my stop loss in profit, but it's still currently running. So I'm really glad that I actually moved it in profit because I would be stressing out if this was the case and I was still in the position at this point because I'd still be making the same amount of profit that I made earlier after moving my stop loss in profit right here at 639. So there's definitely not a breakout because the breakout's supposed to hit within a couple of seconds, if not a couple of minutes. This has been running for over an hour now. It's been running for an hour and 45 minutes. Or sorry, an hour and 15 minutes, which is still too long. Way too long for a breakout. So another market flow V2 came up right here. If you guys are still looking to take more entries, there's still opportunity here for market flow V2, but I'm not taking anything else on my own account. Yeah, for Jamie over here, she said her top strategies are liquidity, pivot scalp, high low. Yeah, those are all solid strategies, Jamie. I think those are perfect liquidity, and I think those fit your trading profile. So just looking at like the type of trader you are, I've known you for like what, like a couple years now. Um, those strategies, I think you picked the perfect ones that fit you. And the reason I know that's because all those line up together. Those are all very similar strategies. So I think that's how you can kind of fit you can mold yourself into a specific trading profile. You just got to pick like two or three strategies that you like and then just master those. Jamie's been killing. If you guys saw Jamie, I know you didn't post your thing over here, Jamie, but she sent it to me on Instagram the other day. Yeah, I don't think, oh, here we go. So Jamie locked in, I think she has a couple now. She has a handful of 250K accounts. The only strategies Jamie's using are liquidity, pivot scalp, and high lows. And she's killing it. I know she's come a long way because like it really has to do with like being able to follow your trading plan. And now that you have your trading plan in place, it obviously it makes all the difference. All right, guys, it's getting closer to 8 o'clock. We have some more team profits over here for William. Nice work, William. So William locked in 1,582 per account. That's 1, 2, 3, 4. So about like 6,000 for the day. And he made a little bit more over here, actually. He took that same BB3 we just talked about on the live. William now is in profit 2,351 per account. So he has four accounts here, 246. He's in profit about 8,000 for the day. Nice work, William. Killed it. So, all right, guys, I think I'm going to wrap this up pretty soon. If there's any more questions that you guys have, feel free to hop into the chat. Like I said earlier, guys, this market is just not what I'm looking for. It's just the volatility is too low. You guys can see here from the ATR. The ATR is super, super low right now. It's currently at 17 ATR. So there's not really too much going on there. Checking out the clean chart. You can see the clean chart hasn't really broken out of the range. I drew this range here before market even opened up at 6:30. So it's been about well over an hour now. Price is just faking out. So it's staying within the range, but in some situations like this right here, it fakes out and then it pulls back into the range. And now it's just consolidating. So again, like in order for us to take these market flow V2s, this is where we took our entry earlier, right? We need price to do this. We need price to move directional. This is not directional right here. This is sideways move. So in order for us to be comfortable taking these market flow entries, we need price to move directional like this, right? That's why it's called market flow, because you want to go with the flow of market. If market's flowing up, you're going to be taking some buys. Every time price dips, you take an entry right there. Entry. Entry. But because we don't have this, we can't really take an entry. That's why I stopped trading after 7 o'clock. So I'll just, let me show you real quick again before we wrap this up. So let me just mark up the time. So market opened right here at 6:30. I start taking my trades around 6:40. Look how perfect this is, right? 6:40 to 7 o'clock. Look how perfect this time period is for me to take my market flow V2s. I pretty much got it down to a science. That's really what it is. It's really trading down to a science. You just have to understand where's your edge. My edge here is between 6:40 and 7. This is where the market's moving directional, right? 6:30 to 6:40, you get this like manipulation. Then from 6:40 to 7, this is where my edge is at. This is where I can take my entries. And then from 7 up until 8 o'clock, look how the market is like so unpredictable. It's just all over the place, right? This is why I don't trade I don't trade after 7 o'clock right now, because there's just no direction. Price goes sideways, breaks out, then goes sideways even more. So I'm just trying to make everything logical to you guys so that you guys understand everything in the market is logical. You have to understand like there's meaning behind everything that happens in the market. There's meaning behind every strategy I create. There's meaning behind every entry I decide to take. I don't just take random entries. There's a whole strategy behind it. I created my own indicators to identify everything I need, right? Direction of momentum, trend, volatility, etc. And everything kind of just ties in together. That's literally how it ties in for the most part. Yeah, CJ said he's going to switch to his demo account and trade until 1 p.m. just to see how many MFV2s entries come up. Yeah, no, exactly, CJ. 100%. So, all right, guys, I think this might be it for the day. It is 7:52 right now. If you guys have any more questions or any more profits to post up, feel free to, let's see, Maria said MPS full TP. I think you meant MPS, right, Maria? Probably just mistyped the R with the M. Yeah, I can see some MPS coming up right here too. So like price pulled up, retraced, and the MPS would have happened, yeah, right here. So again, another entry there. If you guys want to combine the strategies, you can do MPS with, there's a lot of different things you can do. MPS lines up with the market flow. So if you want to do those two together, there's a buy signal here, trend was bullish, price retraced down right here. MPS would have happened on this candle right here. So price pushed up, retraced. Whole number is right here at the 360. So this MPS actually lined up perfectly with the market flow V2 because the pivot's right there. Price came down, filled it straight to TP. So if you look back at the market flow V2s and the MPS, they tend to line up together almost majority of the time. Work pretty well. All right, guys. So I think this is going to be it for the day. If you guys have more profits to post up, feel free to send them into the Team Profits chat. I'll make a video later recapping on everyone's profits for this week. I used to do it daily, but I'll just do it weekly now because it's kind of repetitive. Obviously it's the same people profiting for the most part. So I'll just do it at the end of the week. from now on. So, all right, guys, I think that's it for the day. If you guys have more questions, feel free to reach out. Otherwise, it's been a great week. Let's recap on the week so far before I get off. So right before you guys get off, I'll just recap on the week. So we started off this week on September. It was a great week for us for the most part. We started off this week on September 16th. We had one loss for the breakout. Unfortunately, this was the first loss for the week. And then we had one loss for market flow B2. This is before I started to implement the 640 time. I got caught in like the manipulation here on open. So unfortunately, on Monday, we had two losses. Then on Tuesday, September 17th, we had a win over here for the breakout. So the breakout won right there on Tuesday. Then on Wednesday, we had a breakout, which was a loss, I believe. And then we had a market flow V2, which came up perfect. That hit. We had one market flow V2. And then yesterday, we had a breakout that hit over here for full TP. Breakout over here played through full TP yesterday. And then we had two market flow entries. We had one market flow right here, one right here for two wins. Then we had the breakout over here as well, hit TP, where I moved my stop loss in profit. And then we had another market flow here hit. So looking at our stats for the week, let's see how many wins we had. So I think we had no losses yesterday. So I had one loss on a Wednesday. Okay, so we had three losses total this week, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So 8 wins and 3 losses. It's a pretty good week so far. So if you do the math there, what was the number? It was 8 wins, right? So 8 wins, 3 losses. So it's 8 divided by 11. So we had a 72.7% win rate this week, which is actually pretty good. So 72.7% win rate for this week, 8 wins, 3 losses, total trades of 11 trades. So we had a pretty good week so far. Overall, the profits were pretty solid. Yeah, Maria said she really hates this range. Yeah, me too, Maria. That's why I don't trade after 7 o'clock, because that's typically what happens after 7, going to that big range. So, all right, guys, I'm gonna wrap this up for the week. If you guys have any more questions, feel free to reach out. Otherwise, we're getting close to the end of September, which is a good sign, because as we get closer to the end of September, we are going to be full swing into fall season. And at the end of September, I will go in and I'll review pretty much all the entries for the previous month of the month of September. And we'll kind of move forward and see where we're going to go with our entries from there. So, all right, guys, again, if you guys have any questions, feel free to reach out. Otherwise, we had a great week so far. I'm glad we're closing out this week with some wins. It's a nice refresh from the summer season where it was kind of slow. So, all right, guys, have a great weekend, and I'll see you guys back here.